we got to flip to the Saints and the Panthers real quick. I mean, are the Panthers a high school team or am I missing something? I'm serious. I really think I've had this conversation with more people now, and they're starting to agree with me. I think the 2018 Alabama team, if you pull up that roster, I think they would beat this Panthers team. Go look at that Panthers team. Go look at that Alabama team.
You can't believe this.
Yes, you can. 100%.
Do you understand that this is the
Go look at that roster and tell me.
Of the All-Stars of the last 10 years of NCAA college football are now on this team, right?
Go pull up that roster and tell me they wouldn't compete with them. Go pull up that roster.
They won't.
Go look it up. You can't even name one player from that team. When you see that
Alabama.
Yep, when you see that roster, you might think different.
No, I won't. It's a college team, Joe.
It doesn't matter. Is it one of the greatest teams ever assembled?
Okay, but Joey,
it doesn't matter. They're world-class athletes.
You know no one agrees with you on that.
Yes, they do. Actually, I had 3 people agree with me. People agree with
Daniel Wright at defensive back.
Okay,
Christopher Allen at linebacker. He hasn't done much in the NFL. Savion Smith. He's getting cooked. Shaheem Carter. I've never heard of these people. Ronnie Clark.
He was really good at Alabama.
Braxton Barker. Ayabi Anoma. Okay. Xavier Williams. Ali Cajo. Skylar DeLong is a punter.
Jerry Jeudy, Patrick Surtain, Jalen Hurts. You're missing like a bunch of guys.
Yeah, but what you're trying to say is that if you assembled that
Jerry
team on
Jeudy,
an NFL team,
Devontae Smith, Trevon Diggs, Josh Jacobs, yeah, it was like, dude,
right.
This team.
So that's
Henry Ruggs,
5 players. You can't win an NFL game with 5 players.
I'm naming Xavier McKinney's on there. He's in the NFL now.
Right, he's in
Jalen Waddle.
Do you know how many NFL players the Panthers have?
Najee Harris.
How many NFL players do the Panthers have?
53.
How many NFL players does that Alabama roster have?
At least 15, easily. Brian Robinson's on there.
So 15
Ford,
NFL players
Mac
or
Wilson,
53 NFL players. What are you gonna take?
Dylan Moses, Anthony Jennings, Damian Harris. Dude, this team was stacked.
Yes, it was stacked. But there's 15 NFL players.
Yeah, it doesn't mean all those guys are good.
Right. So those 15 NFL players might not even be very good.
There might be even more than 15, actually. I'm just giving you a number. Dude, this team was stacked.
Right. I agree. It was a stacked college football team, but it's not 53 NFL players.
But it's the best conference in college football. All of those guys in the SEC go to the NFL, and most of them do very, very well. And just
of them? You just said only 15 of them.
I said all of the SEC. That's why the SEC is the best conference in college football. That's the reason why that all of those players get drafted very high and they make crazy contracts.
But
and they're the best at their position.
Only 10 or 15 got drafted.
There was probably more than 10 or 15.
We'll find out.
Raekwon Davis, he got drafted. He's in the NFL now. Even minus that 2018 Alabama team, the 2019 LSU team was just as good as them and could same thing. You were trying to tell me that Joe Burrow from that 2019 LSU team couldn't do well against this Panthers team? He couldn't do well?
No, his offensive line got shredded. Destroyed.
It doesn't matter. You're telling me Joe Burrow isn't going to sit there and have a good game against this Panthers team? With Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire? What?
They're college football players, dude.
It doesn't matter.
How can he throw the ball if his offensive line is sitting on their ass?
You're making that up. It's not going to happen every single play. These are world-class athletes. The SEC is literally the best conference in college football.
You know what's better than the SEC? Every single NFL team.
No. You act like these SEC guys are like plumbers.
Anyone in here with some sanity? Have you ever posed this question to somebody in real life that's agreed with you?
Yes, I have.
Who?
I asked somebody last week and he agreed with me. There's actually people online that agree with me. I don't fucking remember his name.
There's somebody online that will tell you that like anything.
I met somebody in person and he agreed with me.
Where did you meet him? The psych ward?
No, I met him in person.
At the psych ward?
No, Max, you say stupid shit. I don't call you out for it like that. Just because somebody has an
But I
opinion,
don't double down
you,
on it.
I
But
do. I don't, because you don't understand. You don't watch the SEC like I do. You don't watch the NFL like I do. It's not like it's some outlandish thing. Like it's not some
it
crazy
is.
thing. No, it's not.
Joey, put this
It's
online.
not.
I don't if it
I
like,
have.
and no one agrees with you.
No, there's people that do in the comments. They go, "Oh, that 2019 LSU team could give them a run for their money." I bet you they could.
They could not win an NFL game.
Yes, they could.
But
I bet you that.
Then why
act
isn't
like
everyone on that roster in the NFL then?
that's not how that works.
Right, because they're not NFL caliber players.
That's not true. That is not true.
So they just didn't get drafted because they were unlucky.
I never said every single player on that team is NFL worthy, but you act like the Panthers, this Panthers team is some like God squad, and you act like this Alabama team from 2018 is like the worst thing ever. You sit here and say like, "Oh, this
I don't. I say
because you discredit. No, yeah, but you treat it like it's some like just random college team. It's not.
It's not.
They're one of the greatest teams ever assembled.
Right.
And they could compete with the worst NFL team. You're trying to sit here and tell me the 0-16 Browns. Yes, they could. Yes, they could.
No.
Yes, they could. Go look at their rosters. No. You don't watch football like I do, so you're never going to understand it. It's very simple.
Okay, but you're going to say that to everyone that comments that says you're wrong?
No, I'm going to disagree with them. Okay. Because you sit here and act like that Panthers team would win like 60-0. That wouldn't happen.
They probably would.
No, they would not. No, they would not. Absolutely not.
They have assembled a roster of the greatest college football players of the last 10 years. Yep. Right?
Okay.
And then they're going to play against one roster that only has 10 NFL caliber guys. And they've got 53.
You just said they would assemble the greatest college football team for the past 10 years. And you're trying to tell me
the Panthers have assembled a segment of the greatest college football players.
I don't agree with that.
Of the last 10 years. How do you think the draft works? What do they pick? Bad college football players?
Some guys aren't NFL eligible that get drafted. They may be better than what they're put out to be, but they're not as good when they officially play in the NFL. You could draft some guy from Toledo in the 4th round. He could absolutely suck. You're going to tell me he's better than the starting tackle at Alabama? You're going to tell me he's better than Devontae Smith? You're going to tell me he's better than Jalen Waddle? No, he's not.
No, I'm not saying he's maybe better than Jalen Waddle individually. I'm just saying when you have a college level,
I got you.
Versus Jadeveon Clowney, what is the quarterback going to do when Jadeveon Clowney's coming at him 400 miles an hour?
What about when this guy's an all-pro tackle?
But he's not.
But he is, because he's been ranked and he's been ready for the draft for 3 years.
Who, like the
Alabama guy. Yeah. What if he's an all-pro guy and he's 6'8" and he's 360?
We have the roster. Is he?
Pick one.
Who was he?
Pick one. At the time, there's plenty of guys on here. You're trying to tell me that a 6'8", 380-pound guy in Alabama who's a 5-star recruit, who's been there for 3 years, he can't compete with somebody in the NFL who just got drafted?
No.
That's delusional. That's worse than what I said.
Why didn't he get drafted then?
Who? What guy? He did.
Offensive lineman.
That guy went in the 1st round.
Who?
Alex Leatherwood.
Okay, what about the other
2018? Oh, look at the size on these guys. He's 6'6", 304. Yeah, but you act like they're going to get thrown over like rag dolls. They're not. They're grown men.
Did you see what Jadeveon Clowney did to the average college football player when he was in college?
Yeah, these Alabama guys aren't average college football players. They're not, there's a reason why they go to Alabama. They're not just random college football players. You act like these guys went to like University of like Mississippi State or just some random college program. They didn't.
Okay. If you put a poll out and ask if the 2018 Alabama football team could beat the 0-16 Browns, how many people do you think, what percent of people do you think would say yes?
I think that, well, first of all, I think that 30% of people would agree with me. At least 30.
Okay.
But you sit here and act like that 0-16 Browns team would win like 70-0. That's insane. That's absolutely it. No, they wouldn't.
Do you understand how the draft works? You pick the cream of the crop of college
Obviously,
football players.
you Max,
and
you don't
put
have
them
to
on
try
an
to
NFL
act.
team.
You don't have to try to act like I'm less intelligent than you. I have a 4-year degree,
But you're
just like
sounding
you.
it. You're sounding
I'm
less
not.
intelligent than me.
I'm not. I have a 4-year
The way
degree,
you're
just like
speaking.
you. No, I'm not. You don't even understand how the draft works. Just because you get drafted doesn't mean you're some hero guy. And there's guys get drafted in the 6th round who aren't as good as guys that get. What? Tom Brady went the last pick in the draft. Oh my gosh! Wow, the draft means so much, right?
Well, there's reasons that undrafted free agents aren't dominating the NFL. But yeah, there's outliers.
It happens. Antonio Brown is a 6th round pick.
Certainly happens. But
there's a lot of guys that get drafted later and that do well.
Yeah, they're better. So would you say they're better than every college football player?
I wouldn't say that. No. You're trying to tell me some undrafted guy is better than that guy at Alabama who's a 5-star?
No, I'm not saying one-on-one these players are better. I'm saying that you cannot assemble an NFL caliber squad with 18-year-olds that are in college.
Never said they're not. Some of these guys aren't 18. Some of these guys are 21, 22.
But some of them are not going to make it to the NFL.
And some of these guys in the NFL are 21, 22, and these guys are 19. They're not like 40-year-old men.
So you think, you take a team with 10 NFL players on it.
Okay.
And then you take a team with 53 NFL players on it, and you think this 10 NFL player team wins.
Why is it just 10 NFL players?
Because that's what the Bama squad had.
Okay. So you think they would I think they would come close, yeah.
Okay.
But just because there's 53 guys in an NFL roster doesn't mean they're these all-star, they're these greatest things since sliced bread. There's guys in the NFL that are at tackle that shouldn't even be playing. At guard, there's plenty of guys in the NFL that shouldn't be starting at their position. They're there.
And you would give it to these Alabama guys that never even got a chance at.
Well, some of them have. A lot of them have. Because you sit here and act like you discredit these Alabama guys like they're like these horrible players. Oh,
I discredit a team of 10 NFL ranked guys versus 53 NFL ranked guys.
Because you're making it way too analytical.
It's a
That's
team
your
game,
problem.
not a one guy game.
Yes, exactly. But you act like these Alabama and Georgia guys are like these plumbers and bums.
No. I'm saying that even if you have
you
10 really good guys, like look at the Bengals. They have 10 really good players, but they still lose.
But there could be more than 10.
How many are there? We have a list of them.
Just because there's only 10 that got drafted doesn't mean they're not NFL caliber. There was other guys in college that were better than them, but they could still compete. Like you can't sit here and discredit like these Alabama guys like these are just like, nah, they're the worst guys in the world. They have no talent.
I don't think you're hearing me right. I'm saying that even though they do have really good players, there's only 10 of them. There's 53 really good players on the Panthers.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is these Alabama guys, your offense and defense, they're not just random guys. Or Georgia, for example. That's what I'm saying. So, but for you to sit here and say they would win, they'd blow them out 70-0. That's crazy.
Is it?
I think it is. Listen. Okay, I'm not going to say they're not like they wouldn't win. Yeah, they're the favorite for sure. But to sit here and say they'd win 70-0 when they have talent on both sides of the ball, like just up the yin yang is crazy. I understand where you're coming from, the 10 versus 53. I get that part, but to sit here and go, yeah, man, that Georgia team, they'd lose 80-0 to the 0-16 Browns. What?
Everyone on that 0-16 Browns was a star at their position in college football.
Doesn't mean they're better. Just because they're a star at their position doesn't mean that they're not their athletes compared to the guys at Georgia and Alabama can't compete with them. There's been situations in the past where teams have beat other teams and they haven't been as talented or they haven't been as skilled. It's happened in the past. It's not like it's some crazy thing where it's like, well, man, that team was so good out there. They dominated them that game. The underdogs, they really played well and they beat them. It happens. It's not like it's.
I think there's a reason that most of the world would disagree with you, but
that's okay. A lot of people agree to disagree in this world.
Yeah.
Doesn't
but I wouldn't want to go around like flaunting that I'm wrong everywhere I go. You know,
there's plenty of things I could say you're wrong. I don't flaunt to the world that you're wrong.
but I'm not in this situation.
Maybe that's your opinion. There's never going to be a right or wrong answer. So until it's proven, it'll never happen. So there's
Fair
no
enough.
facts. There's no facts. So you can't sit here and go, you're absolutely wrong. It's my opinion. It's your opinion.
Fair.